The console gives quick access to the stimulator controls, waveform display controls, test selection and measurements, function keys for navigation within a test, volume control, function keys to navigate from a new patient to report generation, and a numerical keypad. I will illustrate their function using motor nerve conduction study as an example. In the motor nerve conduction study, the stimulus intensity is indicated in the toolbar and also in the status panel. In the status panel, we can see the absolute value of intensity and also the change in intensity as a sliding yellow bar. The stimulus duration and the stimulation rate are also indicated in the toolbar. The stimulus intensity can be increased using the knob on the console. After stimulating a nerve or a site, we can reset the intensity to 0 using this button. Here is a control for stimulus duration. We can increase it by pushing on the top edge of the button, or we can reduce the duration by pushing on the bottom edge of the button. Here is a control for stimulation rate. We can increase it by pushing along the top edge. We can reduce the rate by pushing along the bottom edge. Here are two controls for stimulation. We can deliver one stimulus at a time, or we can use recurrent stimulation. Let's look at these two modalities by stimulating the median nerve at the wrist. I will increase the intensity and deliver one stimulus. This is one method of recording responses in a nerve conduction study. Another method is to use recurrent stimulation. Push the button. We are now stimulating in a recurrent manner. Increase the intensity. And when the desired response is recorded, push any of these buttons to stop stimulation. Here are buttons to control the display. Use the up arrow key to expand the trace vertically. Use the down arrow key to compress it vertically. The amplitude calibration is indicated to the right side of the trace. Use the right arrow key to expand the trace horizontally. Use the left arrow key to compress it horizontally. Once again, the time calibration is indicated to the right side of the trace. Here are 4 arrow keys and a knob. They perform different tasks in different tests. This is discussed in greater details in a companion video. The arrow keys and the knob do emulate the arrow keys and the select button found on the Neuromax system. The select knob also emulates the function knob found on the Synergy system. As a quick introduction, if I wanted to change the position of the marker 1 on trace, I can rotate the knob to reposition it. I can push the knob to select the next marker, and so on. The Synergy PIU system had 12 function keys that were accessed from the computer keyboard. We have the same 12 function keys now arranged in 2 rows. They are color coded and they have different symbols. The associated functionality is indicated at the bottom of the display. Many of these keys were also found on the console of the Neuromax system. For example, this would be the key corresponding to the averager on-off on the Neuromax system. Here is a key corresponding to the distance button on the Neuromax console. Once again, these functionalities are described in greater details in individual test videos. Here are controls for volume. Right now the volume is muted. I can listen to the EMG sound by pushing this button. The volume level can be adjusted by using the arrow keys. This is shown at the top in the toolbar. Most likely you will find a comfortable volume level and then use the mute button to either listen to the EMG sound or turn it off. Here are 6 function keys, the triangle keys, that are used to navigate from patient to report. Pushing the report key will toggle between the traces and the report. This is very useful to quickly review the data that has been recorded in the patient. Finally, we have a numerical keypad to input the distance. As illustration, notice we have a distance function key. I will push it. The default distance is shown in the box. I can type the correct value, for example 8 centimeters, and push the enter key. Upon completing a test, we can exit and return to the main menu using the gray triangle key. We can perform the same study in another nerve using the orange triangle key, or we can study the opposite side using the yellow triangle key. The blue and the white keys are useful to review different tests performed in the patient. I'm going to exit the test by pushing the gray triangle key. Thus, by quickly accessing the routinely used controls and functions, we can perform the electrodiagnostic studies in a fast and efficient manner.